Imagine a place untouched by time, a vast green cathedral. This is the Kaffa Forest in southern Ethiopia. It is a world humming with life, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and sweet blossoms. In this remote and magical corner of our planet, a remarkable story began. A small red berry that would one day conquer the world. This forest is not just a collection of trees, it is a living library of genetic diversity, and it holds the secret origins of one of our most beloved daily rituals, a simple cup of coffee. The very name coffee is thought to echo the name of this region, Kaffa. Walk beneath the towering trees, you can feel the history all around you. It is a place of immense natural wealth. Wild coffee plants, known as coffee Arabica, grow here in their natural state. They are not planted in neat rows. Instead, they sprout freely, part of a complex and beautiful ecosystem. This is where coffee truly belongs. It is here that its journey started, long before it ever filled a cup. The sounds of the forest are a constant, gentle symphony. The call of a distant bird echoes through the trees. The buzz of insects creates a soft, vibrating hum. Monkeys chatter high above in the branches. It is a world that feels ancient and sacred. The people who live here have understood its importance for centuries. They are the guardians of this precious land. Every single Arabica coffee bean in the world can trace its genetic ancestry back to this very forest. It is a pilgrimage to the emerald heart of coffee. The story of coffee's discovery is shrouded in the mists of legend. It is a tale passed down through generations. The most famous version speaks of a young goat herder named Kaldi. One afternoon, Kaldi noticed something peculiar about his goats. They were not their usual calm selves. Instead, they were leaping and dancing with an unusual amount of energy. They seemed full of life and excitement, bleeding with joy. Kaldi was puzzled by their strange and spirited behavior. He watched them closely, trying to understand the source of their newfound vigor. Curiosity led Kaldi to investigate. He followed his dancing goats, and saw them nibbling on small, bright red berries from a dark-leafed shrub. Intrigued, he decided to try the berries for himself. He picked a few and cautiously chewed on them. A short while later, Kaldi felt a wave of exhilaration wash over him. His weariness vanished, replaced by a feeling of alertness and energy. Eager to share his discovery, Kaldi gathered some of the mysterious berries and leaves. He rushed to a nearby monastery to show them to the chief monk. The monk, however, was suspicious. He feared these berries were the work of the devil. In a fit of disapproval, he threw them into a fire. But as the beans began to heat up, a wonderful thing happened. A rich and enticing aroma filled the room. It was an aroma unlike anything the monks had ever smelled before. The beautiful scent captivated them, turning their fear into curiosity. They crushed the beans and mixed them with hot water. That night they drank the dark, invigorating brew. They discovered that it helped them stay awake and alert during their long hours of evening prayer. The drink was hailed as a miracle. The news of this heavenly beverage spread from one monastery to another. And so, from a simple observation by a goat herder, the journey of coffee began. It was a discovery that would forever change the world. The Kaffa Forest is more than just the home of coffee. It is a biodiversity hotspot. This means it is one of the richest and most diverse natural environments on our planet. The forest is a multi-layered world. Giant trees, some reaching incredible heights, form a protective upper canopy. Below them, a mid-layer of smaller trees and large shrubs thrive. And at the very bottom, the forest floor is a tapestry of ferns, herbs, and young saplings. This complex structure creates a wide variety of habitats. It allows a staggering number of different species to live together in harmony. The air here is alive with the flutter of wings. The forest is home to over 300 species of birds. Their vibrant colors flash through the green foliage. A colorful Tarako bird perched on a branch amidst the lush green leaves of the Kaffa Forest. The melodic songs of the Abyssinian catbird and the distinctive call of the silvery-cheeked hornbill fill the air. High in the treetops, primates swing through the branches. Troops of black and white colobus monkeys with their long, flowing tails leap from tree to tree. The more elusive Dabratza's monkey can sometimes be spotted near the rivers. These animals play a vital role in the forest's health. They help to disperse seeds, ensuring the next generation of trees can grow. The forest floor is a world of its own. It is a place of quiet activity and hidden wonders. Small mammals such as the African civet move silently through the undergrowth. A vast array of insects, from brightly colored butterflies to industrious beetles, go about their business. They are the great recyclers of the forest. They break down fallen leaves and wood, returning vital nutrients to the soil. This rich soil is what allows the wild coffee plants to flourish. The entire system is interconnected. Every plant and every animal has a part to play in this intricate web of life. The biodiversity of Kaffa is not just beautiful to behold, it is the secret ingredient in the world's original cup of coffee. Beyond its famous coffee plants, the Kaffa Forest is a treasure trove of botanical diversity. It is a living pharmacy and a natural pantry for the people who call it home. For generations, local communities have relied on the forest for survival and well-being. They possess incredible knowledge of the plants here. They know which leaves make medicine, they know which roots can be eaten, they know which barks make dyes. This traditional knowledge is passed from parents to children. It is central to their cultural heritage and connection to the land. Many Kaffa plants have important uses. The forest supplies several unique spices: Ethiopian cardamom, distinct smoky flavor; cardamom in local dishes; cardamom in traditional medicine. Wild honey is another precious gift. Beekeepers hang cylindrical hives high in trees, made of wood. Hives made of bamboo. Bees gather nectar from many forest flowers. The honey is dark, rich, and intensely flavorful, a taste of the forest's floral diversity. Trees provide sustainable timber for building homes. Trees provide timber for making tools. Some trees are sacred, sites for gatherings and ceremonies. The forest is seen as a living, breathing provider and protector. This respect is woven into culture and guides sustainable use for future generations. Close-ups of hands gathering herbs, preparing remedies, cooking, an intimate relationship with plants. People of Kaffa live by seasonal cycles and the health of the ecosystem. The plant diversity is the foundation of a centuries-old way of life, living in balance with nature. The people of the Kaffa region, the Kaficho people, have a relationship with coffee that runs deeper than any commercial interest. For them, the wild coffee that grows in the forest is not just a crop, it is a part of their identity. It is a cultural inheritance nurtured for countless generations. They see themselves not as owners but as custodians. Their way of life is built around the forest and its most famous plant. This sacred bond helped preserve the wild coffee gene pool. They do not clear-cut the forest, instead they manage coffee in its natural setting. This is semi-forest coffee production. They selectively thin the undergrowth to give wild coffee more light and space. The harvesting is done by hand. Families venture into the forest to pick only ripe cherries. A Kaficho woman in traditional clothing, carefully hand-sorting freshly picked red coffee cherries. Selective picking ensures high-quality beans and lets the plants continue to thrive. This system benefits people and forest. Maintaining the canopy protects coffee from harsh sun. Falling leaves create a natural mulch. This enriches soil and removes the need for chemical fertilizers. The forest provides a home for birds and insects. They pollinate the coffee flowers and control pests. It's agroecology, agriculture in harmony with the ecosystem. The result? Coffee that is organic and forest-grown, carrying complex wild flavors. The connection is also spiritual. Certain parts of the forest are sacred groves. They're protected and off-limits to harvesting. Seen as places of spiritual power where forest spirits reside. These beliefs create natural sanctuaries. It's this mix of sustainable management and deep cultural respect that makes the Kaficho the true guardians of wild coffee. Their traditions are a living lesson in sustainability. In Ethiopia, and particularly in Kaffa, coffee is not something to be consumed quickly on the way to work. It is the centerpiece of one of the country's most important social rituals, the coffee ceremony. Known in the Amharic language as Buna, this ceremony is a daily affirmation of community, friendship, hospitality. To be invited to a coffee ceremony is a sign of great respect. It is an unhurried and graceful process that can last for an hour or more. It's a time for conversation, sharing news, strengthening the bonds that hold a community together. The ceremony is almost always performed by a woman. She begins by spreading fresh grasses, flowers. She then washes green, unroasted coffee beans by hand. The clean beans are placed in a long-handled pan and roasted over a small charcoal brazier. As the beans turn from green to brown, they release a rich, aromatic smoke. The hostess will walk around the room wafting this fragrant smoke towards her guests. This is considered an important part of the experience, a blessing for everyone present. The aroma itself is a form of communion. Once the beans are roasted to a deep, dark brown, they're ground by hand. A mortar and pestle are used for this task. The rhythmic sound of the pounding is an integral part of the ceremony's atmosphere. The ground coffee is then added to a traditional clay coffee pot called a jabina. Water is added. The pot is placed back on the brazier to boil. The process is slow and deliberate. It is a performance of patience and care. When the coffee is ready, it is poured with great skill. The hostess holds the jabina high. She pours a thin, steady stream into small, handleless cups without spilling a single drop. The coffee is served in 3 rounds. Abol, the strongest. Tona, reboiled with more water. Baraka, the blessing. Each round has its own significance, and it is considered polite to drink all 3. The ceremony is a beautiful celebration of coffee's origins and its central role in Ethiopian culture. The story of how coffee traveled from the highlands of Ethiopia to become a global commodity is a fascinating tale. It's a journey of trade, religion, intrigue. For centuries, coffee remained a well-guarded secret within Ethiopia and the nearby Arabian Peninsula. In the 15th century and the 16th century, Sufi mystics in Yemen were among the first to cultivate coffee systematically. They used the drink to stay awake during their devotional practices, just as the monks in the legend of Kaldi had. The Yemeni port of Mocha became the world's first great coffee trading hub. For a long time, all coffee exported from Mocha was boiled or roasted to prevent its seeds from being germinated elsewhere. The Arab world held a tight monopoly on the coffee trade. Coffee houses known as kahvekhane began to spring up across the Middle East. Cairo, Constantinople. People gathered to drink coffee, play chess, listen to music, discuss politics and news of the day. They were nicknamed schools of the wise. The drink's stimulating effects were seen as an aid to clear thinking and lively conversation. The rulers of the Ottoman Empire embraced coffee, making it part of courtly life in what is now Turkey. The spread of coffee to Europe began in the 17th century. Venetian merchants were the first to bring coffee to the continent. At first, it was sold as a medicinal remedy and was very expensive. But soon, coffee houses began to open in Italy, London, Paris, Vienna. In England, they were called penny universities, a cup-bought conversation across classes. They became hubs for commerce, politics, scientific debate. The insatiable European demand for coffee eventually broke the Arab monopoly. The Dutch were the first to succeed in smuggling live coffee plants out of Yemen. They cultivated them in Java, Sumatra. This was the beginning of coffee's global cultivation. From a wild shrub in a remote Ethiopian forest, coffee had traveled the globe, changing cultures and economies wherever it went. The Kaffa Forest, the very cradle of coffee, is under threat. In recent decades, deforestation has become a serious problem. The growing population has led to an increased demand for farmland, for timber. Large areas of the forest have been cleared to make way for agriculture. This destroys habitat for countless species of plants, species of animals, and threatens the survival of wild coffee. When the forest is cut down, the genetic library that it represents is lost forever. The wild varieties of coffee Arabica are a vital resource. They hold the genetic keys to creating new coffee strains resistant to disease, resistant to climate change. Recognizing the global importance, significant efforts have been made to protect it. In 2010, the Kaffa Forest was designated as a UNESCO biosphere reserve. This designation is not just a title. It is a framework for conservation and sustainable development. The goal is to balance protecting the forest's rich biodiversity and improving the livelihoods of the people who live there. The reserve is managed in zones. Core areas are strictly protected. Buffer zones allow sustainable use. Transition areas allow sustainable economic activities. Examples include harvesting forest coffee and honey. One powerful tool for conservation is making the living forest more valuable than a cleared one. The world's coffee drinkers have a role to play. Creating a market for wild-grown Kaffa coffee provides a direct economic incentive for local communities to protect their forest. When farmers can earn a good income from sustainably harvesting coffee, they become the forest's most passionate defenders. Several international projects, fair trade initiatives are working with local cooperatives. They help improve the quality of their coffee. They connect cooperatives directly with buyers willing to pay a premium. The future of the Kaffa Forest and coffee itself depends on this partnership. It's a partnership between local communities, the Ethiopian government, conservation organizations, and consumers around the world. By choosing coffee that supports preservation, we are not just enjoying a delicious beverage, we are investing in the future of biodiversity. We are helping to protect the living legacy of Kaldi and his dancing goats. We are ensuring that the magical forest where coffee began will continue to thrive for generations to come. Every morning, millions of people around the world begin their day with the same simple ritual. It is the act of brewing and drinking a cup of coffee. It's a moment of quiet reflection, a jolt of energy. It is a catalyst for conversation, a companion in solitude. This global phenomenon connects us across cultures, but it all comes back to the dappled light and rich earth of the Kaffa Forest. Hold a warm cup in your hands. The journey of that coffee has been extraordinary. A wild berry discovered by a legendary shepherd, a ritual brew for monks and mystics. Bustling coffee houses in the Middle East and Europe, vast plantations across the tropical world. Coffee has fueled revolutions, inspired art, driven economies. It has become woven into the fabric of our modern lives. Its heart remains in the highlands of Ethiopia. The genetic diversity in wild kaffa plants is our insurance for coffee's future. Appreciate the story of kaffa and your appreciation deepens. More than a commodity, taste the history in its complex notes, sense the forest's richness in the aroma, feel the connection to the Kaficho people, support sustainable harvesting of wild kaffa coffee to honor this legacy. Participate in preserving a botanical treasure. It ensures that the story does not end with us. So the next time you take a sip of coffee, take a moment to travel in your mind. Journey back to a lush green forest in Ethiopia. Picture the ancient trees, hear the call of exotic birds. Imagine the scent of wild coffee blossoms in the air. Remember the dancing goats, the curious shepherd. Remember the generations who cared for this land. In every cup there is a trace of that magical place. In every sip, you are tasting a piece of natural history. You are connected, through this simple daily pleasure, to the emerald heart of coffee.